Welcome to our next installment of our Chess Club videos. Today we will be talking about the Queen. Now, the King, as we've mentioned, is the most valuable piece on the chessboard. When you trap the King, the game is over. By contrast, the Queen is the most powerful piece. The Queen is worth 9 points. Now remember last time we talked about how the King can move in one square in any direction, but only one square in any direction, forwards, backwards, or on the diagonal. The Queen, by contrast, is what we call a long-range piece. The Queen can move in any direction, but she can move as many squares are available in a straight line. She must move in a straight line. She can move in a straight line along a diagonal forwards or a diagonal backwards. She can move in a straight line across the entire board if she wants to, 8 squares along the file, or across the board along the ranks. So the Queen, if she wants to, let's put a rook in this corner, the Queen could cross the entire board to capture this black rook. However, the Queen, as a long-range piece, can also be blocked. She cannot jump over pieces. So, for example, if she comes down, she cannot hop this pawn to capture the rook. She can come and capture the pawn, checking the King and attacking the rook, but the King, actually, as we talked last time, to get out of check, is allowed to capture the checking piece. The King can capture the Queen. Now let's imagine we have 2 pawns here. Again, the Queen cannot leap over a pawn to capture a piece that they want. The Queen can capture here, capturing this pawn, saying check to the King, but now the pawn can capture. As powerful as the Queen is, she can be captured even by a lowly pawn. At the beginning of the game, the Queen is blocked by the pawns on the second rank. The reason the beginning of a chess game is called the opening is because in order for the pieces to move out, you must create an opening. So for the Queen to get out, you must move a pawn to open an avenue for the Queen to get out. She cannot jump her own pieces. You move a pawn, and then the Queen can get out. At the end of a game, the Queen is very powerful because she moves so well on an open board. That's why you want to save your Queen for the end game and not lose her in the middle of the game. For example, this Queen can come all the way down and check the King from a distance, straight line across the rank. Now, as we discussed last time, the King has 3 ways out of check. The King can move out of check, or, notice this Queen, always watch out for your opponent's Queen, this Queen can come and capture the checking piece. Now those are the 2 ways. Let's imagine that this black Queen is off the board. This Queen comes down and says check. This King moves out of the way. This Queen comes back here, moving along the diagonal, and says check again. Here's the 3rd way out of check. The King can move, you can capture the checking piece, or with a long-range piece, you can block. This pawn blocks the checking piece. As we discussed, the Queen cannot jump, so the King is no longer threatened by the Queen. If she takes that pawn and says check again, the pawn can capture the Queen. Let's imagine a different scenario where the King is blocked in by his own pawns and there are no other pieces. This Queen can come across the board, and this would be checkmate. We cannot capture the Queen because we have no pieces to capture. We cannot block because pawns do not move backwards. And there's no other piece to interpose between the King and the Queen. The King cannot move because his own pawns are blocking him, and the game would be over with checkmate. A great game that you can play with your child to practice the movement of the Queen, the power of the Queen, and to review how the pawns move is a game we call the Mad Queen. Black has just the Queen, white has all 8 pawns. The Queen is worth 9 points, so she should be more powerful than all 8 pawns combined. Remember, the black Queen starts on the D file, the white pawns set up on the 2nd rank, and white, as in all games, gets to move first. Now, if white captures the queen or promotes a pawn, white wins. Black, if they gobble up all the pawns, if they capture all 8 pawns, then black wins. White makes the first move, as in all chess games. Right now, from d8, which is the name of the square, this queen is attacking this pawn. If white doesn't do something, the queen will capture. So a good move for white is to move the pawn forward. Now a good move for black is to move the queen right in front of the pawn, because from here the queen is so powerful, she is attacking these 2 squares. It would not be smart for the queen to capture that pawn, because then the pawn would capture the queen. The game would be over in just 2 moves. So black, watch out for those pawns who can protect one another, and white, watch out for the power of the queen. Have fun.